fellow traders, welcome to the weekly outlook. Happy weekend to you, and I hope you are enjoying your weekend and you are also making money with our educational training videos. Now, this is just like the first recording we're going to be having without it being a live session where you guys have the opportunity to ask various questions. Now, if you have any question, you can raise it. You can ask within the group. A Telegram discussion group has just been created, and you can just join the Telegram group, search for at Club 9 Forex. And we also newly created a Club 9 Forex page on the TradingView, and you want to also follow us right there. Just change here to people and then search for Club 9 Forex and click on follow. Now, why is it necessary for you to follow us there? The reason being that most of the trade analysis or setup that we are going to be posting are going to be right here on the TradingView platform, and you want to be getting the first notification when it is posted. It is newly created, and as you can see, there are a lot of setups that are just been there right now, and very soon it's going to be full with a whole lot of setups, which is the reason why you don't want to miss out anytime the trade setup are being posted right there. Also, don't forget to like and share this video, and when you do that, you are doing two things. First, you are helping the community to grow, which is just like your support to help the community, and then the second reason for this is because there's a whole lot of traders out there that are still struggling and they don't really know how to approach the market. But if you share this maybe on your social media platform or anywhere, they may get to see it and it can help them improve instead of just following trading indicators blindly. Now, for those that are relatively new to trading, you want to go to Club 9 Forex Academy page and you want to click on Become a Student. Now, when you click on Become a Student, all you just need to do is to confirm the registration for your email and then log in back to the platform, and you can get access to see all these videos. Now, these videos are free. The basic ones are free, Forex beginner course, which give you a good background of what the Forex market is and also the candlestick formations. It is when you get to chart patterns and Fibonacci Elliott wave that you get to see the premium videos, which you need to then subscribe for you to be able to get access, and it's just relatively cheap compared to what you can see elsewhere. It's just $385 lifetime asset. That means you can get access to watch it at any particular point in time. So let's just get started. Dollar index. So we are going to be starting with dollar index as usual, and what we have right here is that price have been going all the way down before, then it is moving in a sideways correction, and it looks as if we are going to be going for one more move to the upside before we then continue the trend downward. It is very typical for this kind of structure like this to have a 5-wave correction before it then goes downwards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going for the 5th wave. Disregarding the internal waves, which are usually in 3-wave count. Now, we are going to be, if you follow through all the way that we used to analyze the market, we usually start from the dollar index, and we also analyze the crude oil chart, which is what is going to give us an understanding of what to expect in other related currency pairs like the Euro USD, the pounds dollar, the USD CAD, and also other indirectly related pairs. So we are going to be analyzing the dollar index right now, and then we are going to go to our chart on the MT4 to see what to expect on the Euro USD, the GBP USD, USD CAD, etc. So right here we seem to be expecting a 3-way move, and it seems as if price has done the first one and the second one, and it's most likely going to go for the third one, completing the 5th wave of the overall WXY inside the ABCDE structure, which is what we have right here. So we don't know if price is still going to go for the last wave, but we are going to try to see if that's what we are going to be getting to see price do on the lower time frame. So let's go to the daily time frame, and then we'll get to see if price is actually ready for that up move yet. So this is what we have on the daily time frame, and it seems as if price is actually also within a corrective structure on the daily time frame, and anytime from now we may actually be correcting within that to go to the upside. But the overall move to the upside right now is not yet completed. And remember, before price actually even started going all the way down to that level, I gave you an update in the group, and this is what was sent back then, that you should watch out for one more move to the downside before we may start looking for any bullish reversal formation. And that's what you can see that has happened right here. Let's go to the 4 hours time frame, and you'll be able to see it clearly. So this is the 4 hours time frame, and this was the setup I was telling you back then, that you should expect price to still go down, and it looks as if price is going to be testing this area before the proper reversal will start. So what are we expecting on the dollar index right here? Price have actually been moving in this manner, and as you can see, let me just quickly take this to the downside. It's not well positioned. Yeah, so price have actually been moving in this manner, as you can see, and it's looking as if it's going to be doing this before it then reverses. More something that looks like a WXY or WXYXZ structure. So we'll be looking at this level before we can start looking at the possibility of price reversing from that spot. So what we want to take away from this level, from this structure, is that we'll first expect Euro USD to be a little weak, then after that to gain strength. So based on this, by the time we go to the Euro US dollar and the pound dollar, we'll use it to have an understanding of what to expect based on the structure that we can see right there. Now, as you guys know, my trading strategy has to do with the combination of wave analysis and harmonic structure together. And for me to be able to know where price may most likely get to before it reverses, I'm looking at the possibility of me seeing a harmonic pattern right here, and I'm going to try to find out if that is going to be in play. Let's just draw this, and you will see that price actually retraced around the 61.8% of the AB, and then we may look at the possibility of having a crab formation, most likely a crab formation. That means we are looking at the possibility of price breaking this low a little and then reversing, something that may look like this and then reversing. So with this, we can expect an harmonic formation of this X, A, B, C, and then D somewhere ending around here. That is going to be giving us the first variation of the crab pattern. The other variation is for it to get to the 161.8, but I don't see the possibility of price getting all the way that far. So my take totally right now on the dollar index or the strength of USD is to still expect some weakness during this week up to a certain level, then it will now gain strength later on. We are going to give you updates in the group as regards when the bullish setup is complete. So let's just go to the MT4 platform and see how the setup is, and then we'll go to the Euro USD and GBP USD charts. So this is our MT4 platform, and this is the dollar index daily time frame, and this is what we were looking at right there on TradingView. Now there's a possibility that, just like I said before, there's a possibility that price is going to be breaking this below a little, giving us something that may look like a running flat right there, something that may look like this before price eventually then go. So it's looking more likely that we are going to be having something that may look like this right here. So price have done the impulse, and then it made this correction, it made this impulse, and it seems as if we are going to be moving in a corrective pattern before we then go down and then possibly resume the bullish trend. That is the overall long-time set outlook, but for now what we are interested in right now is price getting to somewhere around here and then reversing to the upside. So based on this right then, we can go to Euro USD and also GBP USD. So this is Euro USD daily time frame, and we see to have and we seem to be having the reverse of what we have on the euro, on the dollar index, which is quite logical, and most likely we are going to be breaking this top. We gave a signal when we got this rejection around here, only for price to just move a little, then coming back to the entry. If we go to the lower time frame, you'll be able to see the structure clearly, and it's looking as if we had a divergence right there, and price eventually didn't respect that divergence, and you just want to break it up a little, then come down. So what I told you guys eventually in the group was to close your Euro USD setup, and that we're going to be taking a new trade when the setup is complete, if you remember. So what we want to look at right now is at what level are we going to be looking at taking this trade again. So based on what we have seen on the dollar index, it's looking more likely that we are going to be breaking this top, maybe up to the 127.2, and price is just about to get there very soon. So I'm going to be setting this to 127.2 based on the crab pattern that we can see on the dollar index chart. So it's looking more likely that price is going to be getting to the 127.2, breaking this top before then reversing, and as at that point in time we are going to be getting to see a proper divergence forming around this level. That means as price is going to the upside, you may expect that your RSI is going to be giving you a reversal to the downside, letting you know that this push to the upside is not really going to be supported by momentum. As a matter of fact, let's go to our dashboard, our harmonic dashboard, and also divergence dashboard to see if we have a setup there. And as you can see, this one is giving us something that looks like a sharp pattern for a bearish sharp formation. Let's open it and see what is being detected right there. Perhaps it's going to help us in getting our entry. So this is on a 1 hour time frame, and we have a sharp pattern that is letting us see that there's a possibility of price breaking above this level, but I'm going to expect price to break it more than this. The 113.1% is most likely going to be getting to the overall 127.2 that we have agreed on the 4 hours time frame. So the proper reversal will actually be starting around here. That means price breaking up to that point, breaking the top up to this point, then reversing. Then let's also see if we have a divergence formation. We don't even need to check if there's any divergence formation. It is quite obvious that we have a divergence forming. And as you can see, when price is going for the last push to the upside, we are going to be having a proper divergence that's going to be formed eventually. So the trade setup that we have agreed on Euro USD is that we should expect a break of the top. Then after the break of the top, then we can start looking out for the proper sell formation based on what we can see on the dollar index. Let's go to GDP USD. Now for GDP USD too, if you remember that I gave you this formation before in the last webinar, and price only got here and started going down. Now what I can see right now is that this move downwards is not really sharp, and based on the fact that it's not sharp, it means that there's a possibility that we are going to be having one more move to the upside before the possibility of we having any sell setup. And if you remember that I didn't give you any sell signal on the GDP USD anymore, let's go to our trading view and let's see what we have on GDP USD. For GDP USD, this is what I gave you guys. I gave you guys this sell signal on TradingView, and that was exactly what price did. Price actually started selling all the way from that spot and got to this level. Now what I could see right there is that we seem to have a bullish setup on GDP USD compared to Euro USD, and we're going to start from the maybe the weekly time frame to try to understand the overall price action there, and then we can come to the daily time frame and then the hourly time frame to confirm that setup. So as we can see right here, what we have is that price is actually moving in a sideways correction, and it's making it look like more like a flat setup before we go for the third wave right there. So what I'm going to be expecting right here is that there's a possibility that price is going to come all the way down to this level when dollar is strong. Then when dollar start getting weak, you can expect price to go for the final movement before we then continue in that in this manner. So based on this, we can go to the daily time frame and see what our expectation was, and I gave you this sell setup right there. But for now, based on what I can see, I'm going to update this setup during the week. And so what price is going to do tomorrow, Monday, will determine whether price is going to go a little bit lower up to this level before continuing, or it's just going to be giving us something like this. It may actually be giving us something like this first before it then continue in the direction of the trend. Let me just take this out before it then do this. So there's a possibility of we having a true wave correction before this move to the upside. So I'm going to be updating you guys in the group regarding this GBP USD. So if we go back to the 4 hours time frame, or possibly the 1 hour time frame, I think the price action there is going to be clearer. So what I'm going to do, let me just take out this and just take out this and this. So right here, what I can see is that if price is going to be breaking out of this, then we are going to be having that bullish setup. That is price coming all the way down here, then breaking out of that zone. But for now, it is not clear yet what price is going to do. We are going to be waiting for that update during the week. So let's analyze the crude oil chart, and then we can use that to have an expectation of what to expect. Our expectation on US dollar CAD. So where's the crude oil chart? Crude oil. Okay, here it is. So for the crude oil, we are going to start from the weekly time frame as usual, and this was our expectation before, that price was going to get all the way to this area, then do a proper retracement before it then go for the third wave. Now let's go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, this is what we have, and it's looking more as if we are going to be having this kind of structure right there, where price is going to be going all the way to this area as given, then eventually making this correction and possibly giving us a more complex correction pattern before going to the uptrend. But we are not there yet. The immediate move right now is just simply this move to the upside. Now if price is going to be going up a little before coming down, then you expect that US dollar CAD is going to also be coming down a little before then going up. Let's go to US dollar CAD to see our expectation on US dollar CAD. So this is what we have on US dollar CAD, and the reason why US dollar CAD has actually been moving sideways in this manner is because all the while the US dollar and the CAD are the two weakest pair. They are the two weakest pair, and that's why you see that US dollar CAD is not really been moving quite well. And you expect that the USD, the CAD and the yen are going to be the strongest pair eventually, maybe towards Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So by Monday and Tuesday, you may expect them to continue the weakness, but by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you may expect the yen, US dollar, and CAD to gain strength. And also you expect that Swiss francs and New Zealand and Australian dollar are going to be losing strength based on the structure. We are going to confirm that very soon, but let's go to the US dollar CAD chart and see what we have right there. This is US dollar CAD, and you can see US dollar CAD has not really been moving. It has just been moving sluggishly, almost in the same manner. And if you have this, what you can expect is that this formation is not yet complete. I'm going to be taking this out, and I'm going to be extending this a little to this area, something like this and like this. So what I can see right here is that there's a possibility that if the US dollar, if the crude oil chart is going up for one more before coming down, we may expect the reverse of this right now. That means we may expect that CAD is going to go all the way to this level, then after that go up based on this overall structure that you can see right here. So I'm going to expect a little break of the low right here for US dollar CAD coming all the way to this level, then after that continue the bullish trend, giving us this 3-wave correction before it then eventually starts selling. So as at the time that crude oil chart has come down and then going for the third wave, as you can see in the previous chart, then you expect US dollar CAD to actually then resume this move to the downside. So far so good. We expect that we are going to be selling Euro USD, but we want it to break up a little, then come down. Then for GBP USD, we want to expect a bullish continuation, but that bullish continuation, we are going to be sending you the update on that chart later on. For USD CAD, for US dollar CAD, we want to expect a completion of this, then a little break of this low right here, then price going up for the third wave before it eventually come down. So for US dollar CAD, I'm actually looking at the possibility of buying it at this low. So for US dollar CAD, I'm looking for bullish, and for Euro USD and GBP USD, and for Euro USD, I'm looking for bearish. For GBP USD, it is not clear yet, and I'm going to update you guys during the week. So let's try to go to the next one, being the yen pair, and we are going to look at what to expect on Euro JPY, GBP JPY, and possibly US dollars yen. So let's go to the yen pair JXY, and for JXY, also the labeling of JXY is not here. You remember I just opened this new TradingView for the community. The labeling is actually on my personal TradingView account, and I'm going to be updating it later on with this new account that I've just created. So what I can see right here on yen pair, on the yen chart, is on the yen index chart, is a possibility of we going bullish. And if you remember in our previous webinar, I told you guys that it seems as if we have something that looks like an inverse head shoulder here, and if price breaks beyond this level, then it confirms the trend. But right now, that is not what is happening as of yet, and it looks as if price have actually been dancing. But if you remember what I told you, that I'm expecting USD, CAD, and yen to be strong eventually. So with this is the sector that you can see right here, and before this can break out, we may have something that looks similar to what we have on the left hand side, and it's looking more likely that price have not completed yet, but we may have this to the upside, then price giving us a 3-wave correction before eventually breaking out completely, giving us this kind of setup, X1, 2, 3, then breaking out eventually. So we are yet to see the proper yen bullish, but it's going to come eventually. Right now, you may expect this, and when it gets here, that's when you want to watch out whether it's going to be breaking it, or it's going to be coming down a little before it then breaks out. But overall, we are expecting yen to be strong later on. So with this, we want to go to Euro JPY. And look at our expectation right there. So for Euro JPY, I already gave you sell setup based on what we can see, and based on the fact that yen is likely going to be strong, and we have had this impulse, and price is only moving this sideways, and most likely just going to dance around this area for some time before eventually coming down to this level. Now when it gets here, that's where we want to be looking out for, if you want to actually be giving a corrective pattern within the overall structure like this to break out, or it is actually going to continue in this manner and then go down, which is why you can see those double arrows right there. That's why you can see those double arrows that I use as what price may do. GBP JPY 2 is going to be having a similar structure, and it's not that as similar as what we have, or as clean as what we have on the euro yen, and this looking more likely like we have had this impulse and prices within this correction pattern, possibly testing the low to this area. So what we want to look at right now is to see if we are going to be breaking out first to go up a little before coming down. So we are going to go to the 1 hour time frame and see if we have a clear price action right there. So the price action right there suggests that price is actually moving sideways like this and is moving like this, and there seems to be the possibility of we having this dance all the way down to this area when yen pair when the yen index is strong, and then possibly doing a little pullback. The pullback that is going to happen, we don't know if it's going to get to break this top before we then eventually come down. But the overall structure that we can see right here is that we seem to have something that looks like a three-wave correction pattern forming. Price have come down all the way here, then it's making 1, 2, 3, and we may expect it to eventually break it down later on. But it's the way and manner at which it is moving right here does not suggest any impulse yet. It's moving in a manner as which is looking as if it still has one more push to the upside before eventually then coming down. Something that looks similar to what we have on GBP USD. So for this chart, we have a dual structure. It can actually go up a little before coming down, or it can keep on coming down from that spot. But the overall trend direction is actually bearish. So you want to watch out for the trade setup during the week. You want to get notified on TradingView immediately we post the updates on this currency. Now, based on our expectation of yen gaining strength, eventually we can use that to have an idea of what to expect on CAD yen and also on Swiss yen. For CAD yen, if US dollar CAD starts selling, it means that CAD is strong, and then you may start having price wars between for this currency pair, that's the CAD and the yen. So what I'm saying in essence is that there's a possibility of we having both bearish and bullish movement fighting all the way in this currency pair. So you can have this and completing the fifth wave move before price eventually start going down, or it can actually form a complex structure and still give us something like this before it then comes down. But the overall structure that we can see is that we have an impulse and price is moving in sideways, and then we are expecting it to continue downwards, which is a bearish trend. But for now, price have done the first, the 2, the 3, the 4, and it's looking not likely that it's going to go for the fifth wave before it then comes down. So for this pair right now, I'm going to say that you should expect possibly price going all the way to this area to retest this level, then rejecting it and then coming down. So the setup for this remains that price is actually going to be doing this, then doing this. So we are going to be looking for a sell setup around that area. But if you have the trading skill to be able to get a buy entry around this spot, then you want to try to take that. But the best setup actually is for you to wait for price to get to this area and then look for the rejection around that zone. Then if you go to Swiss yen, Swiss is expected to be weak soon, and so we expect that yen is going to be stronger compared to Swiss francs. So the structure that we can see right here is very, very clear. Look at where price is right now, and it's looking more as if price is going to be coming all the way to this area, then coming down up to this area before it then goes up. So let's go back to the 1 hour time frame and see the price action clearly. On the 1 hour time frame, this is what we have right here. Price is actually moving. It's not moving in a manner that shows that it wants to go down. is moving in a manner, in a corrective manner, that shows as if it still has some move to the upside before any bearish trend emerges. So I'm going to be drawing this. I'm going to be drawing this right here, and I'm going to be drawing this right here, and it means that for the meantime the yen is going to be stronger. It's supposed to be stronger than the Swiss franc, and it can be having this kind of bearish correction right there. Then after that, you expect price to bounce off from this area and go up based on the expectation of this, based on the kind of structure that we can see right here on this Swiss yen chart. So let's go with that. Let's try to go to US dollar yen. Where's US dollar yen? Dollar yen, and see our expectation for that. We are going to be starting from the daily time frame for this pair to try to have an understanding of the overall price action and then move from there. Now, I have not updated all the wave count on this. Is on my personal charts, and I'm going to be doing that during the week. Now, based on what we can see right here, it looks more likely that price is going to be coming all the way down to this area, then going up. So we want to be looking out for a sell setup on dollar yen, but not going to be immediate. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame and see the sell set, see the setup that we have there, and then it can give us an understanding of what to expect. Now, this is what we have, and it's going to be looking more likely that price is going to go for one more move right here, giving us something that's going to be looking like a true wave correction, XABC, then coming all the way to test this low. So the immediate setup for this, currency pair would be to be looking for a bullish trend that is going to be giving us the completion of a possible harmonic pattern right here, which we can see. Then this is where we now want to be looking out for that sell setup. So for me, I'm not going to be looking for a buy yet. I'm going to be waiting for price to actually come all the way to, if it come all the way to this area, then it's going to be a very, very good buy setup, something that may look like this X, A, B, C, then D, price coming all the way down here. If we get to see this, then it's going to be a very good trade for you to ride all the way down low. Alternatively, price can actually unfold in this manner. That means there's a possibility of price getting to this area, then breaking it down. That kind of formation is not that so common, and we don't even want to pray to have that kind of formation right there. But what I'm trying to say here is that you don't want to buy and not watch your trade. If you are going to be taking a buy, you want to be watching price when it gets to this area, and possibly move your stop loss to break even immediately price gets it, just in case you want to be having that kind of formation. But there's a tendency that it's going to come all the way to this top before it then flushes down. Australian dollar, US dollar. Let's go to that chart. AUD USD. And for this one, we discussed this before, and we can see the price action on the Australian dollar chart that it seems as if we are going to be turning, but it's going to be gradual. Price has actually been coming all the way down up to this area, then it came to this level, and there's a possibility that it wants to break, it wants to resume a bullish trend based on the overall structure that we can see on the weekly time frame. I don't want to go there right now, but what I want you guys to just see is that we seem to be having a neckline being formed around here, and price is going to possibly reject it for the second or third time before breaking out. So we want to be looking out for a sell setup around here for the short term trade that is going to be getting to possibly around this area before buyers then take it from that spot. So if you go to the 4 hour time frame, you then be able to see the setup clearly. For the setup right here, what you can see right here is that price have actually been moving in a manner that is showing us that there's going to be possible, there's going to be the possibility of price rejecting this area and selling off. So we want to be looking out for a sell setup and the structure has not changed. I've given us a setup for this pair for quite a long time, and price has only been dancing. And you still want to be in a trade, because anytime price wants to start moving, it's going to be moving very fast and very sharp. It's going to be giving us something that is going to be looking like this by the time it eventually starts. By the time it eventually starts the bearish correction, it's going to be giving us something that looks much more like that. And you may expect the same kind of setup on the Australian yen and also the New Zealand USD. So let's go to the New Zealand USD. The New Zealand USD, we have a similar structure right there, and it's most likely going to be that price is going to be breaking this low, this high a little, and then flushing down. But I don't want that. I don't see the possibility of that happening, and I'm looking at the possibility of we having a wave 4 correction right there, which is price have done this, they made a correction for the wave 2, made this impulse, then it's making a correction within the wave 4, and before it eventually go for the 5th wave. The wave 4 most times is usually complex to trade, and there may be a possibility of price first breaking that up before it then comes down. So you want to be very careful when you are taking a sell setup around here, not to close your trade too early. It doesn't mean that you are wrong, it's just that the market condition at this level suggests that there may be a complex correction, or there may be a break of the top before price eventually does this correction to the downside. Now this correction to the downside is supposed to be very sharp. If it's not going to be going down, then it's going to be giving us, it's going to be moving in a manner that suggests that it wants to break out, which is what we are going to be monitoring in the week. Now the same is going to apply for Australian dollar yen, and you expect that same similar setup right there. So let's quickly go to that one. I've also not added it before to my list. I'm just adding it right now. Let me read as part of the yen pairs, and let's quickly analyze it. Now we have a similar setup on the yen pair, and it's just still giving us a sell structure based on what we can see. Price have come all the way down, and it's moving in a manner that suggests that it's going to be correcting first before the bullish trend will emerge. If it goes to the 4 hours to the daily time frame, you should be able to see the overall price action, just something that is very similar to the Australian dollar yen. That price have actually been coming all the way down, tested this low, and it has come all the way to this level. And there's a possibility of price just coming all the way to this area and coming down, giving us something that will look like an inverse shoulder pattern before it then breaks out. Now this area is where, let me change this area is where you want to really watch out carefully, because it's going to be interesting by the time price either breaks out from here, or it wants to come down all the way to this low and then go up. But what I could see right now is that there's a possibility of we first coming at least to test this area. It is when it gets here giving us this slow wave correction that would then try to see if we are going to be having the inverse shoulder pattern for the bullish trend, or it wants to come down all the way to this area to complete this formation that I already drew before. So let's go to Euro AUD and GDP AUD to complete the analysis on Aussie related pairs. So this is Euro AUD, and what I told you before is that there's a possibility of we having a 2-wave correction before then coming down. It may give us a complex correction that may look more sideways before it then flush down. But for now, we want to concentrate on the immediate move, and so let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see our expectations there. Our expectation on this 4 hours time frame remains the same. I told you guys before, as at that time price was here, I told you guys that price may eventually first get to this area, and then we'll be looking for a sell setup and then a possibility of we buying up to this area before we then look for the sell downwards. So what we have right now is that price have gotten to this area. If you go to the lower time frame, you will see that we are going to be having something that looks like harmonic pattern formation right here, which is going to be giving us a sell setup as expected. But we are not going to be getting that sell setup yet. It depends on what is happening on AUD USD. So as at the time that AUD USD is still going to be buying to the upside, then you can expect that sell. But if AUD USD starts the bearish trend, which means that we have AUD right here that is very weak, you don't expect that sell anymore. You then want to be looking out for the possibility of this breakout. So let me just recap. AUD USD, the structure right there is that we're expecting a sell formation, and that means that odd is expected to be weak and USD is expected to be strong compared to odd. But if you remember that on US dollar index and for the USD, we still expect it to be weak before it then goes strong. So that means that at the time that US dollar is weak, you can expect that AUD is going to be stronger compared to USD, and then you can have this sell setup right here. Then as at the time that AUD USD starts selling, that means USD has gained strength, then you can expect the buy from this spot. So let's go to GDP AUD 2, and it's going to give us an understanding of the conclusion of what we have on that Euro AUD. Now for GDP AUD, it has actually been moving in this manner. Price has been giving us something that looks like an any diagonal formation all the way since, and it's looking more likely that we have a little downtrend more right there before it then becomes bullish. The overall this bullish trend that I just showed you right here is a corrective structure based on what we can see on the daily time frame. All these analysis have been given before, and we are just doing an update on them. So we may expect that price is going to be doing this right here. That means coming all the way down to this level and coming back to this top, giving us a sideways movement, a sideways correction pattern before it then eventually break out and continue the downtrend. Something that looks like this before it broke out to the uptrend, and now it has resumed the downtrend. It's going to most likely be moving in sideways correction before continuing downwards. So you want to be careful when you are buying AUD USD, because it's actually a corrective, a bullish correction that's going to be happening right there. So if GBP AUD plans to buy, then you can expect it to give us something like this and go up. But I don't see that possibility yet. I see it actually coming all the way down to this area, then eventually buying from that spot, giving us 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5 formation right here before it then eventually resumes the bullish correction structure. So let's quickly go to Euro card and GDP card, and then go and finally maybe Bitcoin and Swiss. I just don't want us to have more than 1 hour right here. So let's quickly go to Euro card. Euro card, I gave this sell setup during the week, and then price it obeyed that sell setup only for it to come back to the entry. We are able to get 2 TP level, TP1 and TP2 in the group, and then it reverses. So what we want to do right now is to wait for price to possibly break this top a little. Then we are going to be looking out for our sell from that spot. If you remember the formation of the sharp pattern, the sharp pattern usually break, the sharp and the cipher pattern usually break above the high or the low before it then eventually returns, which is why it is very good and it's very advisable that you, when you take this kind of trade setup, you want to quickly move your stop loss to break even and set your TP quite early enough before the possibility of this reversal. So I'm looking at we possibly having this, that means price doing this and then coming all the way down to this level. We have been able to profit from the crab pattern formation that gave us a signal around, sell signal around here, and then we are going to be waiting for price to possibly go all the way to this level and then fall. Now this is going to be happening by the time crude oil chart starts buying. When crude oil chart start buying, then you expect a proper sell on Euro card. The same is what you are going to be expecting on GDP card. GDP card right there. We are going to be looking out for a sell setup on GDP card, and I give you this formation right there in the group for this one right there. We were able to get into the trade and took this sell setup, and there's a possibility that price is going to continue in that manner. Let me quickly just lower it and let you see the price action clearly, which is this and this. So you can expect that price is going to actually come all the way here for a possible retest, and then coming all the way down to this level. So we want to be looking out for a sell setup around here on GDP card. You want to wait for it to actually correct a little and reject this level for the third time, and then you can pull out your trigger for the sell. So which one is remaining? We have done a DXY, the yen pair, Euro USD, GDP USD, AUD USD, New Zealand, US yen, pound yen, AUD yen, card yen, chef yen, oil, US dollar, card, euro card, GDP card, euro, AUD, GDP USD. So the next one is gold. Now for gold, I gave you guys this sell setup in a group, and we're able to profit from it. And I was telling you that this is just a 2-wave correction, and we should be looking for a buy setup later on. Now I was not able to give you the buy in the group because as at the time that price was doing this movement to the upside, I was actually not on the system to be able to get to see it. But now if you want to get into the trade, it's very simple. Allow this to happen. Let price get here and reject it. Now if price gets here and reject this level, then it's going to be giving you the inverse shoulder head shoulder pattern that will give you that buy setup for you to go long. So you want to wait for price to come down here and reject it, and then you want to trigger for your buy. Remember that we are still in a corrective structure, and the way manner at which price is moving suggests that we still have a possible one more move to the upside to complete the overall structure. As you can see right here, it's going to be the end of the overall wave 5 and wave B and double wave C, and also for the wave 5 of the lower degree. You may not get to understand all this if you follow through all my analysis all along, or if you are my student, you'll be able to understand quite better. But this is what I'm saying, that we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are possibly going for the 5th wave within the lower degree, which is part of the overall wave 5 of the higher degree time frame. So you still expect some more movement to the upside before that sell will happen. Then dollar Swiss. For dollar Swiss, we try to take a buy setup around here. No, not here. I think it should be around here. It should be around here. We tried to take a buy setup around here for dollar Swiss. It went a little, then came back to touch our SL. It's no problem. All we just need to do is to wait for the next setup, and then let's go to the daily time frame and understand the price action there, and then we can use it to have an understanding of what to expect going forward. Now I can draw this, and I can also see this right here, which is part of the overall trend that you can see right here and right here. So what I'm going to do is to go to the 4-hour time frame right now, and then see if price has actually gotten to the level where we expect it to respect and reverse. And the reason for the buy setup, was because of this during the week, and also that Swiss franc was actually losing strength, and all of a sudden Swiss franc gained strength, and that was what happened. So for me, dollar Swiss is not actually a very healthy PF to buy or to sell, so I'm going to be staying out completely on the dollar Swiss. But if you are going to be taking this trade, you want to wait for price to make a new low right here, and then possibly look for your buy setup. So I'm going to be watching out if price come to make a new low. That's when I can look for the possibility of buying it. But if it doesn't do that, then I'm going to be staying out away completely. The same is most likely what we are going to be experiencing in pound Swiss. And for pound Swiss too, we were able to profit from this move to the upside. I gave this buy setup, and it gave us TP1 and TP2. then only for it to come down to this area, and it's no problem. The TP3 took us out at our entry, and we are going to just watch out if price is going to be respecting that zone. So as at the time that we expect that the Swiss price is going to be weak, then we can look at the possibility of we actually buying the pound Swiss. So I'm looking at the possibility of this. That means price giving us an expanded flat right here, and it has made this impulse and 1 2 3 4, and possibly going to be going all the way down up to that level and coming down before breaking out, giving us this 5-wave correction. But for now, it is not yet clear, and it has not really rejected this level. It's not supposed to make a new low. Now the best way to trade this is to even pray for it to come down all the way to this level before then looking for that bullish trend. But I don't see the possibility of it breaking breaking that level, because I'm expecting pounds to be strong also during the week. So this is where we are going to be looking at the rejection around this area. If price reject this area, then it's going to be giving us a good setup for us to go long. So we've done that to GDP pound Swiss. So let's go to pounds New Zealand, and then finally BTC USD. Now for pounds Swiss francs, somebody was actually saying it in a group that we have gotten to the level where you should be looking out for buy because of this trend line, and the possibility of it being in a confluence of an horizontal of a key support line or so. This key support line right here. But in my own case, I'm actually not convinced for the buy yet because of the structure that I'm looking at right now, which is going to be the sharp pattern, and the rejection level for that sharp pattern is most likely either at the 88.6 or at the 113.1. And if we're going to be drawing this all the way to that top, you can see that we are just at the 78.6. We are not yet at the 88.6. Let's set the 88.6 level. So let me just put 0.886 right here. 886. So it will give us an understanding, and then we are also going to get to know where the 113.1 is. So price has not really gotten to the 88.6 yet. There's a possibility of price getting all the way down to this area before it then goes up. So I'm not really looking for this buy setup yet. It's because the overall structure for the GDP New Zealand is actually a sell, and we are going to go to the I'm going to take out this. We are going to go to the daily time frame and the weekly time frame so that we understand the price action in that place quite well. Let's go to the weekly time frame so you get to understand. I posted this this trade setup some time ago, and this is what we have right here, and we are expecting it to keep on going down. So for me, the buy setup is just a correction pattern, and it can resume. The sell setup can resume anytime from now. And if you remember the setup that we have on New Zealand USD, that New Zealand USD have actually been coming all the way down. Then after some time it has gone up, and it plans to just come down, and they keep on bullish. Now this is the pair that relates to the GDP New Zealand, and at any time that New Zealand USD start going bullish, then you can expect that we are going to be having the reverse right here on GDP New Zealand. So we are going to be looking out for buying GDP New Zealand only for a very short term, and then we look for a sell setup later on. But for now, I'm not really taking that trade on GDP New Zealand. So finally, let's go to gold, to Bitcoin, and then we call it a day. I'm going to be doing another webinar, another recording or outlook for Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, so to say, so that the people that are trading Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are going to have an understanding of what to look out for. So for Bitcoin, it has actually not been going in a manner that suggests that it wants to go bearish. I would have expected that when this happened, that price start going aggressively all the way down to this area, but that didn't happen. So it's looking more likely that we are just going to be testing this area to go up from that spot. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame, and perhaps we are going to get to see it clearly there. So this is the setup that we have on the 4 hours time frame, and you can expect this to happen. Price coming all the way down here. The way and manner at which it has been moving suggests that we may most likely just test the 8,400 zone, and then from there we may start looking out for the possibility of price bullish from that spot. So for Bitcoin, you don't want to buy it yet. You want it to get somewhere around the 8,000 level, and then that's when you want to be looking out for your buy. But if it gets to this area and then start doing this, then it means that we are most likely going to be going down the more. So this is where we need to be watching out for. But for now, let's first get to focus on the immediate move, expected move, which is this one right here. So we have come to the end of the webinar session, and I ensure that we don't get to exceed more than the 1 hour, and most likely going forward is also going to be improving. And if you have any question, just join the Telegram group at club9forex.com and ask your questions there. I'll be posting trade setup, and you also want to join our TradingView platform, Club9. Search for Club9 Forex, change this one to people, and then search for Club9 Forex, and then click on follow. It's a new account that is just being opened to post trade setups, and once it is being posted, you are going to get notified immediately they are posted. Follow us on Twitter, also on Club9 Forex. All our social handles are actually Club9 Forex. So see you guys in the group. If you want to enroll for the academy, just go to club9forex.com, club9forexacademy.com, and register to become a student, and then you can watch the beginner videos and later on the premium videos. So enjoy the rest of your week, and wishing you a peaceful week. Cheers and happy trading to you guys.